Smoke weed every day.
Spillsta just laundered Revocane some drug money. Yeet.
Smoke weed every day.
Dirty anticipation or anxiety.
Of course, you gotta have your mouth open first, Blade. We're ready to go. Stream's up and going.
That's fantastic.
Wow.
Welcome everyone to the first session of Curse of Strahd. Duchess Morwen of Daggerford is having guests for dinner, and you were invited. No strangers to Daggerford, you've come to the town's aid on more than one occasion, and you count Lady Morwen as a benefactor. A cool autumn breeze blows through the streets as you make your way to the keep. You find yourself at the keep of Lady Morwen Daggerford. You all enter at different times throughout the evening. There is a vast repast of feast and food and drink waiting for you. The party swirls before you with various ladies and gentlemen in all sorts of strange attire, as well as odd amounts of sellswords and mercenaries. As you start sitting down for dinner, Lady Morn goes around the table asking for brief introductions for their guests, asking who they are to introduce themselves to the table. Let's first start with Gwendolyn. Give us a brief description of what you look like and who you are.
Good evening to all of you. My name is Gwendolyn, and, well, I just hunt some things here and there. A few years ago, I came down from north, and I helped the lady with a thief, a bandit who fancied himself the Mask of Red Death. His mask has become mine, and I have become a protector to these people.
Very nice. She then gestures to the strange fellow named Church.
The man she gestures to is quite tall and thin. He's got a really odd smile on his face. Long, white, wispy hair. He kind of has his head tilted down. His eyes look deep and almost socketless, like black pits. He's got an unusual smile on his face that never changes, though it seems like he almost tries to hide it as he tilts his head a little bit. Dressed in what looks like a Pedro outfit. He almost looks like a holy man if it wasn't for the large bolt slinger he has slung over his back. Salutations! Thank you for inviting me to enjoy human food. My name is Church. It is a pleasure to meet you. My father, Redacted, asked me to visit Redacted to assist in killing, Redacted. It is a pleasure to meet you all.
The brief vision of concern over Lady Morin's face eases slightly at these tremulous words. She then gestures to Grunk, the large half-orc.
The half-orc she gestures to seems to be quite laying back, relaxed in his chair, kind of surveying the scene, and doesn't seem disgruntled by Church's words at all. My name is Grunk, he says, and he has an air of confidence and almost a breeze in which you'd not expect with a half orc, half whatever. He says, nothing really of note to say about me. I was struck by lightning, so that comes up once or twice. And then he folds his arms and leans back like he's ready to take a nap.
She smiles delicately at you. Let's hope there's no lightning here then, shall we? And you, dear, gesturing to the redhead.
Oh, there's not much you can say about me. Says the half-elf girl rather sheepishly. My name's Moira, and I'm here on. I probably should
Water
prepare, but
I'm
yeah.
you, Rev.
That's fine, don't worry.
I'm a apprentice to Master Whitbane, and I'm here because we've helped the good Duchess several times before.
Lady Morn would nod and say, the wizard is a certainly handy gentleman. And may I introduce one of my zoologists, the Tortolan Kraul. Take a bow, dear. And she gestures to her right hand where this Tortolan is sat.
That is very nice to meet all of you. My name is Kraul. He looks really uncomfortable, but not because of the situation, it's because he's absolutely massive. Maybe like 6.5 feet tall. Just a giant turtle man, but he seems to be pretty familiar with the Duchess.
If you aren't comfortable, Kraul, dear, we can always fetch you a bigger seat.
I may take you up on that, but for now, I am fine.
And our final guest of the evening, an illustrious dragonborn.
Greetings. They call me Knuller. I've helped Lady. I've forgotten her name. Morwen multiples of times. Dealing with bandits and other unsavory characters. I believe this is quite the occasion. Nice to see all of you.
It was a cause for celebration, but there are concerns in Daggerford. There are reports of wayward bands of travellers camped outside my town's walls. They seem harmless at first, but they've begun harassing the local townsfolk, and part of why I invited you all here is to see who has the mettle to aid me in this endeavour. They threaten to put hexes on people, demanding money and wine. I tried to send some guards away to scare them off, but they just couldn't get the job done. They returned talking sympathetically about the visitors, as if magically charmed. I don't want an armed conflict, you see, but I need someone, namely all of you, to send a stern message. Leave before dawn, or I'll burn their wagons to the ground. I'm an amicable woman. I see no reason for them to cause me any more trouble. Wouldn't you agree?
Churchill tilts his head 90 degrees to the side. His smile never changes, even speaking through it. Fire and wagons. You plan to burn them?
If they don't leave and cease harassing the local populace, yes.
That seems a little excessive.
I agree. Surely a more just approach is required.
Well, you are all very bold and brave individuals. I'm sure you could convince these travellers of the importance of leaving my lands unharassed and unbeggared.
Forsooth, milady, but I cannot abide by burning wagons of innocent civilians.
Very well, just make sure that they're please gone. I mean, enjoy your soup and your pheasant, but before the night's end, after the meal perhaps, and as the evening grows dark, I'd like to see you all roused and taking your feet to them.
Ah, yes, this looks delicious. What is that? Churchill point off into the distance to try and distract everyone so he can grab his food and sling it over his shoulder with nobody noticing and set his plate back down.
Sure, make a sleight of hand check. You do it masterfully. No one notices your hands darting out to the table and disposing of the evidence.
Yum, yum. This human food is most delicious.
My, your friend's quite the rapacious one.
Boy, you sure can eat, Church.
That's quite an appetite.
I am a growing boy, after all.
Truly, I have some competition. And Grunk laughs wholeheartedly.
The wine and the mead starts flowing and the evening progresses on quite jollily. You all can quaff as much as you want to, but the Duchess seems very expectant of you to leave and at some point deal with these travellers, preferably tonight. She doesn't seem to force the issue, but there is definitely an air of concern and distemper about her.
Gwendolyn puts down a leg of pheasant and looks to Church. Well, have you not eaten your fill? We must get going.
I am currently full. Thank you. It's kind of weird how he can enunciate and pronounce his words so well with his mouth clenched and an almost fatiguing smile at this point.
Grunk stands up and lets out a massive belch while slapping Church on the back. Like my friend says, I think we've all had enough. Let's go bash them.
Agreed.
Lady Morn bids you all adieu and points towards the captain of the guard for the location of the wayward travellers. He tells you they're camped on a hill outside the gates of Daggerford near the main road. The guards are watching them pretty around the clock, but their camp doesn't seem to move or go anywhere, despite what they've tried to push them along. So as you leave the castle keep and head out onto the road, the evening begins to grow dark. As you head out through the hills, you start seeing a bonfire crackling in the distance and shadows dancing around it. It takes you half hour to get there, and the night begins to settle around you, and you start hearing singing and dancing as they're gesticulating around the fire. There's a definite smell of booziness and wine and ale. And there's 3 large barrel-top wagons parked at odd angles, and tied to a nearby tree is a bunch of grazing horses. They seem to be typical draft horses wearing bright coats with bangles and tassels attached to them, which seems a little odd. What would you all like to do?
Church is going to stay behind the party and keep to the shadows while using his perception to search for anything out of the ordinary.
Sure, make a perception roll. It's quite dark, but there's definitely some bulkier looking men out of the group. There's some ones brandishing some serious seniority out of the others and some deference. But there appears to be one old gentleman who people are constantly walking up to, paying obeisances and sequences to and talking. He appears to be laughing in fairly good spirits.
We should approach. Ready your weapons, but stay wary. Don't attack unless fired.
Grunk laughs at the thought of violence and hefts his mighty warhammer over his shoulders and struts quite confidently into the camp while studying the old.
Very good. You would see this gentleman sat by the fire. A quite wizened old face, and he is smiling. He quickly introduces himself as Stanimir, and grins at you saying, "What business do you have here, my lords and ladies?"
Gwendolyn attempts to put on a friendly air, and she offers a bottle of wine that she had brought from the ladies' manor, and says, "We would like to join you."
Oh, what a rare gift indeed. He takes a large swig of the wine and spits it into the fire. And the following occurs. Everyone see that?
I do, yes.
The flames turn a rapid green colour as they dance and sway, and a dark shape appears in the bonfire's core. And he says, "I have an ancient tale to tell you. If you would listen, we will do whatever you wish. We will follow your orders that come from Lady Morwen. But listen to our tale. We come from an ancient land whose name is long forgotten, a land of kings. Our enemies forced us from our homes, and now we wander the lost roads." As he says this, the dark shape in the fire takes the form of a man being knocked from his horse and a spear piercing his side, driving deep into him. One night, Stanimir continues, a wounded soldier staggered into our camp and collapsed. We nursed his terrible injury and quenched his thirst with wine. He survived, but barely. When we asked him who he was, he wouldn't say. All he wanted was to return home, but we were deep in the land of his enemies. We took him home as one of our own and followed him back to his homeland. His enemies hunted him and us. They said he was a prince, yet we didn't give him up, even when their assassins fell upon us like wolves. You see the bonfire sway and shimmer, and the dark figure standing with a sword drawn, fighting off a host of shadowy shapes, each with red, bleeding eyes. This man is of royal blood, fought to protect us as we protected him. We bore him safely to his home, and as he thanked us, he said, "I owe you my life," in haunting, deep words. "Stay as long as you wish, leave when you choose. I know that you will always be safe here." The figure in the dancing flame vanquishes its final foe, then disperses in a cloud of smoke and embers. The man's mask becomes a somber face, and the curse has fallen on our noble prince, turning him from once a noble, generous figure into a tyrant. We alone have the power to leave his domain. We travel far and wide to find heroes, such as you, to end the Dreadlord's curse and put his troubled soul to rest. He looks at you pleadingly. We search for one such as you. Our leader, Madame Ava, knows all. Will you return to us to Barovia and speak with her to help us in our dread task?
Will it
If
get
we
you to
were-
leave our lands?
If you can help us with this task, I know that Lady Morwen knows more than is let on. He smiles, a toothless smile of blackened stumps and a crack-lipped grin.
Grunk laughs again, enjoying the tale. This is turning out to be quite the evening. I say we take him up on his offer and see where this night takes.
Kraul's been listening. Could I insight check this?
Certainly.
See if his story is truthful.
You certainly can. Go ahead. You feel he's embellishing some small points, but for the most part, he seems fairly honest and sincere. He is a little drunk, though.
Can Grunk sort of scan the people sitting around him for their sort of reaction to the story and to...
Sure, roll an insight check.
Oh.
Grunk gets just smiles and winks from the ladies and grins and chortles from the men. They don't let him read much besides that they're enjoying their time here and happy to see someone is interested in what's going on. The question hangs in the air, though. Will you go with them to see Madame Ava, who knows all, in Barovia, and speak with her to find
After Grunk studies the happy faces and pleading faces of the others, he feels not compelled but intrigued to find out more about this tale of theirs, and turns to the rest of the group with a large smile and nods his...
Gwendolyn returns Grunk's look. She is moved by their plight, and she seeks to help them vanquish the evils of which they have told. However, she has promised that she would make sure the group left before the morning sun rose. And so she opens her mouth and speaks to the old man, trying to persuade him to join them on the trip to their to that distant land.
Should you step aboard our carriages, we'll be away this very night. The bonfires will extinguish and we'll be on the road to Barovia. This, I swear, on the life of my prince.
Your proposal is pleasing to my ear.
If that is what is required, I will do this task. We should get going.
Knuller huffs in a relatively annoyed sense, and fine. If this will get you off her lands, then we will go. To help for good.
I'm sure Lady Morwen would be more than happy with this outcome. He takes another huge swig of the wine, sprays it into the fire. It roars up to a good 20 feet of this green flame, and you see a black figure silhouetted there, bowing, and the fire subsumes and comes down with a crump, and there is nothing but ashes in the centre of the bonfire, and the Vistani rapidly start scattering to their wagons and preparing to leave.
Before we go, Knuller will ask the man a little more You say she knows more? What do you mean?
She's had her guards come here more than once. She's seen us come here more than once. Years ago, back when she was younger, back when she was a girl, she heard of us. We've travelled these lands for a long time. The back roads. He looks off, sort of misty-eyed, thinking about something. It's hard to read through his drunken grin, but he's certainly thinking of something.
You look troubled, friend. If you need someone to talk to, I'm always here.
Madame Ava is our counsel. She is the leader of our tribe. Next to the prince, of course. She has the answers, you see.
Gwendolyn has a look of shock in her eyes, although she does not let her mouth show it. She asks the man, "The leader? But why would she have sent us to remove you from her land?"
Lady Morwen doesn't appreciate everything we do. The Vistani can be a thorn in some people's sides. We are a travelling folk. We can cause mischief. I'm aware of this. The younger members of the troop, they are rambunctious. But we, under the guise of Madame Ava's direction, look for a solution to our prince's problems. A way to lift the curse. Though none yet has been found.
Can I have a perception check on that story?
You mean an insight check? Certainly.
Yeah, insight, sorry.
Not a problem, go ahead. So you're trying to read whether he's telling the truth or whether he's hiding something. Sort of narrate to me what it is you're looking for in his this analysis.
And this is where I find out I don't actually know how to do a deception check, or
Insight. On your character sheet, under the skills list, there's a button saying Insight. If you just click that, it'll roll it for you. Just click the text.
That was not it.
No. Try again. Very good. You have a hard time reading him. The drunken haze and his elderly wrinkles hide a lot of what he's thinking and feeling. But for the majority of it, it seems very sincere. He is certainly trying to find a cure for this prince he holds in such high esteem. And whoever this Madame Ava is, that's who he deems to be his superior in all things answers-wise. About 20 minutes later, the wagons are all stowed up and the various Vistani are offering you seats aboard their wagon. There is one for all of you if you wish it, or you can split up and sit in different various wagons and talk to different families and different groups. It is up to you. How would you like to disperse yourselves?
Gwendolyn looks at Kraul and at the wagons. She believes that the wagon will not be enough for all 6 of them, and she decides to sit at the front of the caravan of the convoy and to see whether she can ascertain any further information.
Sure. Stanimir would certainly be able to get you a seat up front at the lead caravan. Kraul would have to sit in one of the front seats or clamber into the back in one of the larger wagons, but he can certainly fit aboard. Stanimir looks at you, his black teeth showing as he grins. You're a bold one to sit up front as we go through the fog. It's a chilling and slow process where we head to. It'll take at least 2-3 days. But we'll be off in the hour.
Grunk turns to Knuller and slaps him on the back and says, "Hey, listen, man, how about you, me, and the old man ride together and trade stories and continue this part?"
If you so wish, we can do it.
Okay, so I'm hearing Gwendolyn's at the front with Stanimir. You two are sitting on the same wagon as him, or in the back of the same wagon. So you'll be up there and there. Where does Moira, Kraul, and Church?
Without a word, Church will opt to the far rear wagon and not even sit at the front of it. He will hang on the back of it to watch the rear of the caravan as they move out.
Okay, so you silently and quietly sit aboard the back wagon. That's fine. Moira, where would you go?
Moira will be sitting in one of the center wagons, penning a quick letter to the Duchess to let her know that they're leaving the area with the people she asked to have removed.
Okay, you can certainly give that to a guard as you're leaving the town.
I was hoping to recall my familiar and send it out to deliver it.
Oh, very good idea. Certainly. So you call the law up.
Go deliver it to the Duchess, Lenore. Do it quickly, please. Moira will tie the letter to Lenore's leg, and Lenore will fly off.
Off he goes. Off she goes, rather. And last but not least, Kraul, what do you do in terms of positioning the wagon or anything else you'd like to do before you leave?
Kraul will kind of watch everyone distribute themselves. And he will take a handful of grass and walk toward the cart with Moira. And will druid craft a flower out of the handful of grass and give it to her as a peace offering between the two of them.
Oh, thank you. This is fairly unique. I haven't seen anything like this before.
What sort of flower do you craft?
I will craft it'll be sort of like a holly plant, but with pearl berries at the bottom.
Okay, so fairly bright red berries. I don't imagine they'd be spiky leaves, but sort of angular, maybe.
Yeah.
Should have made it lavender.
Oh, no, never. We don't talk about lavender.
And with that, Stanimir yars the horse into movement, and the dark night sweeps around the lantern-shrouded carts, and you are off. You see Lenore flying off in the distance towards the tower of the keep, and you start heading down strange side roads and old muddy paths that you didn't know were around Daggerford. You start going around torn turns and corners with strange shrouding bushes and leaves. Fog rapidly begins setting in around you as you begin travelling. The first day it's not too thick and you still recognise most of the terrain. But by the second day the fog is very thick and it's hard to see through it. Even at the front of the caravan you're having a hard time peering through. Stanimir's eyes are wide and manic as he's pushing these horses through these muddier and deeper and rougher tracks. But eventually you break through the fog. Eventually you arrive in Barovia. He hands you a map, Gwen, and on it is the surrounding area of Barovia. I will transfer you all onto the world map now. The map is poorly illustrated, and a lot of it is mostly topographical, sort of a Pathfinder's map of where things are, very few names or clear directions. The party arrives here, to the very top right of the map, on the road. I'll just grab the party token. Please all make perception tests as you're sort of looking around, coming out of this bleary fog. Okay, everyone but Moira would... Oh, wait, yes, everyone but Moira would see a figure loping through the fog, backwards and forwards, trotting aimlessly behind the procession of carts. It looks like a human on a horse, but the horse looks incredibly emaciated. The horse looks like it's not breathing, nor does the rider. He is covered in scraps of armour and thin, tattered bits of leather.
Can I make a divine sense roll?
Certainly.
To see whether it is something of ugh, considering it seems dead.
Definitely. Yes, it would definitely ping as undead.
There is something unholy behind us.
Can Grunk get out of the wagon and sort of approach the figure, trying to figure out what's sort of wrong or what's weird about her?
You could ask Stanimir to stop the carts if you wanted to. Make a persuasion check to see if you can convince him to stop the cart. Oh yeah, he's like, sure. It's been a tiring journey. We're about here. Things are coming to a head finally. We can indulge your fantasy for the time. And he starts circling the wagons and lets you all off as the figure is crossing backwards and forwards on the road and twisting and turning in the...
But it's not actually approaching, it's just going back and forth within distance, or within sight?
Yes, within the 60. So you would have passed it as you were coming through the fog and along the road, and it would be there on the tree line and walking about in the... It would be near black pools of water that stand like dark mirrors in and around the muddy roadway. But the trees are just looming above and around things as there's just mist and fog all around.
Gwendolyn sees Grunk looking off into the distance and stands beside him. She asks, Grunk, do your eyes perceive that dark figure in the distance?
Grunk turns to... Are you Gwendolyn?
That is indeed Gwendolyn.
Okay, he turns to Gwendolyn and sort of grunts nonchalantly. I'm not sure, but something's amiss.
Gwendolyn takes a piercing look. She tries to see if there is anything amiss aside from the strange, mysterious figure.
As the carts have slowed and stopped, there's not much noise, you would hear a thin, wailing voice of, "Go back. Can never go back. Go back." And it's holding up a rusted lantern that sheds no light.
Oof.
Do you want to take a minute or two to clean that up
No, it's cool. I've just gone and cleaned it up. What's happened? Sorry, I had to rush off.
There is a skeletal rider, and he is whispering in a shrill, high-pitched, reedy voice, "Go back, can never go back," and he's holding up a rusted lantern that is shedding no light.
Shall we see if he would like to play a game?
The odd question emerges from Church's almost unmoving lips to the party.
Grunk turns to Church and lets out a semi-nervous laugh. Maybe not quite a game, as the weird one says, but maybe we should approach, see if they are in dire need of form of...
Aye, it is our duty, Gwendolyn replies.
Okay, so you start heading towards the skeletal rider.
Can Grunk get to maybe sort of 20 feet ahead of or in front of the rider and call out to it?
I'll put you onto the road map so you can position yourselves where you would like. He is quite a ways behind you in the road, so you would appear to be at the top of the road and he is to the south. To drag your token out, you simply, holding left click, drag your name and put it on the map.
I appear to be struggling with dragging it. Do I just drag the icon at the bottom?
No, on the, you know the little newspaper thing where you see all your stuff at the top right?
Oh, yes.
If you drag your character sheet, you know when you usually click it to pull it out? There you go.
Are these boxes a certain distance?
Each square represents 5 feet. You able to drag yours out, Gwen? If you click the journal tab as if you were going to go to your character sheet, and then mouse over your name, and then holding left click, drag that name onto the map, it'll deposit your character. Wherever you let go.
Alright, got it.
There you go. So the figure is continuing to walk about. The skeleton looks like this. Toothless and battered male with just shadowy depths of eyes. And his horse is not much better. It is skeletal to the bone, but covered in scraps of iron barding.
Grunk approaches, like before, to maybe 30, 20 feet ahead of said creature and tries to call out, "Halt, creature! Why are you here? What are you?"
So you move that far, okay. We'll let you do that. And you cry out that phrase. Does anyone in the party do anything else? Just so we're still in narrative time so everyone can move at the same time and do things. Does anyone rush up with Grunk or...
Yes, Gwendolyn joins Grunk, although she stays about 5 feet back because she is not certain that this is a safe action.
I'll move closer, but not too close, and far away from Church as I can get.
Yeah, Church will lag behind Grunk and Gwendolyn a little bit, but he will brandish his crossbow, and he will announce just in a normal casual tone, as normal and casual as it could be, "Target acquired."
Okay, so you're reaching out. What does it want? It simply responds in the shrill voice, "Go back, can never go back." And the fog seems to rush towards it and you. seemingly enveloping parts of both the rider, the mount, and it clings to the rider. And as the rider starts moving around, the fog continues to move with it, as if being pulled along.
There are foul magics afoot.
So I put a little aura around the horse and but it doesn't seem inherently hostile towards you. It seems... Make insight checks if you want to see what it's doing and its actions are in. Okay, so most of you have a hard time reading the undead and what it's doing. Moira is just a bit disturbed by the whole situation. But Grunk thinks he's lost. He seems like he's looking for something, or trying to get away from something.
Grunk turns to his companions behind him and sort of stares at each one of them. Can any of you sense anything about this creature?
He appears to enjoy smoke. He would probably prefer us to smoke. Around here in... What's the name of this place?
Boravia.
Boravia. I was about to call it Bavaria. Here in Bavaria, they enjoy to smoke. I'm going to call it Bavaria every time. I'm sorry.
It's fine. A little bit of immersion breaking doesn't hurt. As you mention the name of the place, it turns to face you, and the horse's hooves begin to stamp.
Gwendolyn looks to Grunk and mentions to him, whispers to him, I think we have upset it.
Indeed you have. Prepare to roll for initiative.
Well, it seems I haven't lost my touch in pissing off NPCs.
Correct. You have managed to give it the bugbear treatment. So to roll for initiative, you click your token, go to your character sheet, and click the initiative button. Those are some cracking rolls, gentlemen.
Some high 20s and some 19s. Some good shit.
One of the best things about the new Curse of Strahd module is I don't have to change everything to a whisper or off from a whisper roll. It's just standard non-whisper. First combat of the campaign. Good luck. Grunk, it is your turn first.
So at this point, we know it's attacking us, or are we still a bit unsure on its intent?
The way that he has drawn his sword in his other hand, and the horse stamping its feet, indicates it's pretty much going to attack you. The fog also... Seems to be stealing heat from the air around you.
Grunk shouts to his companions, "Get ready for a fight," and hefts his mighty warhammer between two hands and stands ready.
So you're going to ready in action to attack if it comes near you? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, that is my plan, yes.
Okay. No movement at all you want to do?
No, he's going to stand his ground and sort of see what the reaction is.
Okay, Knuller.
He will charge up and, again, ready in action for when this thing seemingly charged.
Okay, what action are you readying?
Just a melee attack.
Sure thing.
Again, whatever comes in closest.
Gwendolyn, what would you like to do?
Gwendolyn raises her shield and pulls her sword from the sheath. She is ready to defend against an incoming.
So you're also going to attack, preparing the action to attack if it comes close. Gotcha.
Yes.
Church, what would you like to do?
Church will raise his crossbow and call out, "Engaging target," and will prepare a shot for when he comes within 5 feet of a friendly.
Okay, gotcha. Kraul.
Kraul's got his wooden shield and shoddy-looking scimitar, but he will step forward closer. And will,
go ahead.
Oh, I will. I'll just hold my action for now. I'll hold. If he starts to approach, I will cast Entangle.
Okay, he's definitely going to approach. The head is thrown back, and a baleful cry is released. That should have been on repeat. God damn it. The warhorse digs its hooves into the ground and lurches forward. It comes hurtling towards Grunk. So it's moving. Want to cast your spell?
Yeah, this will be at the horse.
Sure. It is immobilized. So you're dropping a 20-foot square of seaweed. Do you want to put that down on the train?
Oh, right. I'll just drop it right on top of.
Okay, it's stuck, so it's failed its strength save. The skeleton will try hacking away as another action. There's two of them, and he will try to get his mount. He fails. They are stuck. Moira, your turn.
Moira will approach the horseman and finally realize what's going on, and will cast a magic missile at the horseman.
Okay.
I don't remember how this works. I just roll 3 damages.
Yes.
It is not working. Why? I need to cast a spell 3 times.
Yes. So you do a whopping total of 10 damage to him, which seems to hurt him quite a bit.
And that will be all Moira does.
Okay, Grunk, your turn.
Grunk pulls out a javelin and throws it at the ride.
Sure thing.
So for this, do I just click javelin in my
Yes.
thing?
A 10 will miss. You put yeet in the description. A 10 will miss. It impacts on the skeleton's armor but bounces off. Any movement you'd like to do?
I will take one step back so I'm more in line with the...
Okay, sure.
And that is my go.
Knuller.
I don't really have any... Oh, actually. He'll move in close.
Okay, as you enter the fog, make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I can't see... Oh, is there supposed to be an effect around him?
Yes, there should be, if you can't see it.
I cannot see the effect.
Okay. As you get close to him, there is a wall of fog, so to speak, around him. I'm surprised you can't see that. How about now?
Oh, I can see it now, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
The aura wasn't enabled, my apologies. So, do you still want to step into that aura or not?
I've done it already, it's fine. I'm
Okay.
happy to accept that.
You suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Ooh, I'm extra tired now.
What would you like to do?
I'm not even in range to do what I wanted. Damn it. I will ready a melee attack if it comes close to me.
Okay, sure thing. Gwendolyn, you see Knuller slouch and suddenly get very slow moving into this wall of fog and mist, like his energy's being sapped.
Gwendolyn approaches cautiously while still staying outside the reach of the fog. She returns her sword to its sheath and pulls the light crossbow out of or off her back. She readies it.
So bonus action, store the shield, sword, action, pull the crossbow out. That's fine. Church, what would you like to do?
Church lurches backwards and announces, "Adjusting for target." And he will fire off a shot at the horseman.
Okay.
And that did nothing. Hold on. Oh, there it goes.
13 will miss.
That'll be it. Wait, what action does it take to reload?
There's no action reload. Reload is a quality a crossbow has, where you can only fire it once per turn, unless you have the crossbow mastery feat.
Yeet, that'll be it.
Okay, so you see the crossbow impacting the skeleton, but it sort of just goes through him and into the mess of armor that he had.
Adjusting.
What you want to do, Hoos?
Oh, hey, here I go. I'll come up behind Grunk here. If he breaks through my entanglement and comes within 30 feet of me, I'll cast Produce Flame.
Okay. So your holding action to produce flame becomes within 30 feet of you. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
The skeleton will try and break his mount free. He does not. The horse will also try it now. Nope, both fail. They can't seem to get out of this massive, oddly darkening seaweed. It started being very fresh and vibrant looking, as if it was floating in the water, but now it's taken on a darker, sharper, more thorny look. Moira.
Moira will continue to approach to the rider. And once she's in range, she will cast Ice Knife.
Go for it.
Alright, for a second there, I thought I wasn't on the grid.
You weren't. You were misaligned for a second. I realigned you. It's fine.
Alright. And I've missed entirely with it.
Okay, roll a d100. Higher is better, lower is worse. Yeah, nothing untoward happens. It goes perilously close to Grunk's head and his ear, but it skids past and explodes near the warhorse, but nothing happens.
I'm not entirely familiar with mage. Can I cast a cantrip after my main spell, or is a cantrip considered a primary action?
You can cast a cantrip as a action or a bonus action, and then you can cast a spell as a bonus action or an act.
Alright, so I could cast a spell and a cantrip in the same turn.
Only if it's specified as action or bonus action now, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. Alright, so I don't believe I have anything else I can cast, so that will be the end of my turn.
Okie dokie. Back to Grunk.
Grunk steps forward to the edge of the mist field and prepares to throw another.
Go for it. Okay, roll a d100. Higher is better, lower is worse. Yeah, nothing happens. It goes pretty close to Knuller, but doesn't hit him.
And I will end my go there.
Okie dokie. Knuller, make another DC 15 Constitution save. Yeah, you fight off this round's exhaustion.
After walking in and feeling so tired and drained, he'll try and wander his way back. With a gasp of air, and that fog is deadly. It makes you tired and weary, and don't get too close. And with that, he will prepare his breath weapon if it comes within. He'll prepare a melee attack in case it gets too close.
Okay. Gwendolyn, you have your crossbow ready.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that... if I was allowed to put the shield back and take the crossbow out in one turn. That's okay.
You can fire a crossbow while holding a shield. People have done that in the past in history. I'm not going to fuss over.
Okay, it's a one-handed crossbow. Gotcha. In that case, I have my bolt ready. I will take a shot at the horse.
Okay, roll a d100. Higher is better, lower is worse. Yeah, nothing happens. Again, Grunk's getting very close to being shot by all of you. Luckily, he's not been yet. Church, your turn.
Church will move to the side, 30 feet to the east. He will adjust his crossbow aim and fire another shot towards the horseman.
$20 will hit. 11 puts down the rider. A description of how he dies.
The large bolt will cut through the sky and come back down in a perfect arc and strike the rider in the upper torso. He explodes into a shatter of bony splinters and vanishes into the fog below beneath the horse. Target. Oh fuck. Target destroyed. Church will call out behind the rest of the group, and that'll end my turn.
Okay. Kraul, your turn.
Kraul is going to try to shout out to the horse. He will say, "Your rider is dead. Turn back now, while you still can." And we'll kind of sidle up here next to, between Knuller and Gwendolyn.
Okay. Anything you want to do, action-wise?
Yeah, if he makes it out of the entanglement and comes towards us, I will cast Produce Flame.
Sure thing. He gets out of the entanglement. Comes crashing up to the obvious target. Fire your Produce Flame.
Here it comes.
That is a crit. Congratulations. For 7 damage.
I did. My
Moira,
bad.
you're starting your turn inside the strange energy-sapping fog. Please make a DC 15 Constitution save. You pass.
Hallelujah. Moira will now cast Firebolt. Or actually, no, you know what? Let's cast Acid Splash.
That hits. It's a DC 12 dex save. It dodges.
Target must succeed or... Alright, so no damage.
The acid sprays and just rears up on its hind legs and kicks out towards you guys. Grunk.
Grunk lets out a mighty roar and goes to swing with his war hammer with 2 hands onto the horse.
Can you make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw first, please? Yeah, you pass it easily. 22 hits.
So how do you do attack?
If to click the damage, you see where it says Warhammer under the melee button, under the melee text. If you click Warhammer, it'll roll the damage. On the chat screen.
Oh yeah.
So that does 22 damage. It seems vulnerable to this bludgeoning damage as it crushes the bones with a sickening crack, and a wail rises up out of the hole. Its front legs are badly broken and bones are jutting out at angles they shouldn't be. Knuller, your turn.
Con save.
No, you passed, so you're fine for this encounter.
Oh, awesome. He will slide round the horse, trying to catch it in the rear legs, and hack at it with...
You're going to hack with a Morning Star. That's an interesting one.
You know what I mean.
Yes, 21 hits, because you have advantage. So 11 piercing. Yeah, and the horse goes down. With a... Give me a description of how you kill it.
From Grunk's mighty, sickening hit, destroying it, he swings round and seems to sweep it off his legs, but it just rips the bones from underneath it with a mighty like roar, and little fires flake out. Foul undead, you are gone from this land.
Amidst you lies a pile of scattered bones, broken mail, and shattered what looks like old dried blood seeping from the marrow of the poor rider in its mouth.
Can I search the remains of the rider?
Certainly. Give me an investigation roll. Okay, you find a small trinket, which is there is a small image of the rider, daubed in his finery, but for some reason the face has been scratched away. It looks like a lover's trinket or remembrance, but it's been badly disfigured.
I pick it up and show it to Gwendolyn and say, "What do you make of this?"
Gwendolyn replies, I cannot say, but I do believe that that man, or that shell of a man, has wandered these fields for many a year, that his flesh be ripped from his bones in such a way. I shall now say a name in Pelor's name, that he may find rest.
Off to the side of the road, you hear a loud chuckle and the baying of wolves. There is no rest in Barovia, not unless you can force it. The ground is too wet to hold bodies here, and the wolves howl and echo around it. Someone or some things are watching you.
Gwendolyn looks in the direction of the voice, trying to make out its source. Can I roll a perception?
You certainly can. You see a large wolf, a wolf bigger than any wolf you've seen before. And it's slowly pacing along the edge of the forest. And it walks with the bravado of something knowing that it is an apex predator, a killer of sorts. It smugly starts swaying up. But the figure that you see doesn't seem to match the voice. For the benefit of those who want to see the art.
Who's the lady?
Just part of the art.
I know, I'm just being an idiot.
Some of the smaller wolves approach as well.
If you wish us harm, we will leave. But please, come out. Speak for yourself instead of these animals.
You have entered Barovia with my retainer's wishes. You are the animals here, livestock to be fed upon, toys for my amusement. And you see the brief swish of a red cloak amongst the trees.
Has this damned fog brought jaundice upon you? Come down and speak with us.
Make a persuasion check. You may speak with my servants. See if you can bide the wolf's tongue. and the wolves begin slowly approaching.
Can I use my animal handling to try and comfort the wolf, or tell the wolves we aren't here to harm them or their master?
Sure. You can try and they don't seem to care or be concerned with your intonations towards them. They have a hungry look and an ear pricked to the side where the voice is coming from.
Could I say that to the wolf? We're not here to hurt you.
Can you communicate with beasts? Or you're just saying it's in common? Okay. You make a brief wolf howl and some murmuring dog noises, and their ears flatten and their teeth are exposed as their lips roll back in a snarl.
Oh. They didn't like that.
Make a persuasion check at disadvantage. Church is very well hidden, though. No, it's definitely incensed them somewhat, whatever you've said. They feel it counteracts whatever has been told to them previously.
We should leave and go now. We are ill-equipped to fight a pack of wolves. This was such a predator.
Aye. These odds are not favorable to us. Let us retreat.
You can certainly retreat if you want to. You have the time to slink away or back away. The voice in the woods is mocking and derisive as it says, "Leaving so soon? You'll meet the same fate as the rider trying to go back that way. Scurry along with the Vistani. He'll show you where you have to go."
Should we go?
We should go.
Indeed we should. Or, crap, accent. Indeed we should. The large one doesn't seem like a normal wolf.
Grunk snarls and says, "Even I am wary of this challenger."
A gaunt and pale-faced, noble and regal-looking gentleman strides from the forest and starts petting the largest of the wolves. His eyes are black and pitiless, and he holds a contemptuous smile on his face. And his fingers are covered in Baroque rings and well-appointed dress. The skies darken as he leaves the woodside, and it seems like the sunlight itself is choked to a pale and barely visible grey. I am Strahd von Zarovich, and you are my guests here in Baravia. Tarry not too long on the roads, lest my pets grow bored. Tell the Vistani I welcome them back to Baravia. And he stands looking coldly at you.
I am ready to get the redacted out of here.
Knuller will cover their retreat as they go, lagging behind those that push up.
As will Grunk.
I am a turtle, so I have no choice but to be back here.
Do not become soup, my friend.
Excuse me, Tiny?
That is very rude.
And Strahd returns to the woods.
Goodbye, stranger.
The wolves follow you a little bit. They continue to plod along behind the back of the car. What is it Moira would like to do?
Before walking off, Moira will give a curtsy bow in the general direction of Strahd, saying, "Thank you for your hospitality. It's a nice place you got here." And we'll walk off after muttering, saying, "I wonder," and dirt crap. Never mind.
Make a deception check, as you're clearly lying.
That was more sarcasm, but yeah, deception. Something that's going to go horribly wrong.
Roll the sarcasm skill.
Yeah, he gets the joke, and he smiles, and you see some very large teeth in his mouth. Do not tarry, little girl. Your pleasantries may get you in trouble.
And with that, she'll scurry off to join the rest of the party.
He laughs, and the wolves begin to howl, and darkness begins to close in behind the cart, and the fog rolls forward.
Grunk turns away from the figure and flexes his bulging muscles before huffing and walking away.
Congratulations, you've all reached level 2.
Oh, we did it.
You did.
We're so good.
You did. You really put a number on that poor rider.
Was he made out of experience points or something? Is that why he fell apart so easily?
Didn't expect the druid to CC him for every single round, okay? Sometimes skeletons should be able to stab and slash people.
I felt bad. I thought about canceling it.
He didn't do a single hit point worth of damage.
No, he didn't. He is more of a tone setter than he is a fearsome combatant. There's some scariness about the AoE and his aura, but...
kind of like Dolly Parton, right?
Jolene. The Vistani see you all rushing back to the cart, and they get the hell out of there. They start moving quickly as they hear the wolf howls coming from behind. But here is where you can level up and add your next level abilities as well as your next bit of HP. Generally, I'd prefer it if you took the average for HP roll rather than rolling for HP, but if you want to roll for HP for the damn of it, feel free.
Shit, I was hoping to be able to do this stuff between sessions, considering I'm streaming right now at the same time.
We can have a small 10-minute break as it's halfway through the session, and you guys can do that now.
Cool.
So come back at 5-2, and we'll continue then. Does that sound okay with everyone?
That sounds good.
Sounds good.
Alright, gives me time to try and figure out how to level up.
I will, I'll mute and deafen Discord and everything for that and go to my BRB screen. In the meantime, we'll come back and continue.
Okie dokie. See you all in 10 minutes.
I've got a new language.
Yes, for leveling up, Chris, it's not too bad for a fighter. You basically
Okay, I'm back. The stream's back up too.
Hi, everyone.
Hello,
Hello.
it's me, a turtle.
Oh, you cunts.
You
what, mate?
boy, Grunk.
You fucking what, mate? Holy shit.
Holy Yeah.
Oh my god, the map's red.
Bavaria is burning.
Let's not try and rig up a token on that layer, because that's going to end up badly. So, everyone's refreshed and ready to go again, apart from the Daedric Circle. Shall we take a second to explain what new abilities we've got for the...
Quick question. Do spell slots recover with level ups?
For resting on the cart, sure.
Alright.
I got some really cool stuff for this level. I can wild shape into any animal that I've seen.
You're already an animal.
Any different animal that I've seen.
Okay.
And I have access to spirit totems to buff everyone. Either healing or strength or the other one.
Healing or strength, or the other one, you mean dexterity?
I can use a reaction to grant advantage on attacks, and they have advantage on perception.
Okay, that's some fancy stuff from Kraul. Gwen, what do you have?
I now have the ability take a, if I'm reading this right, take a second action once per short.
More attacks, more fun.
Oh, that's a good
Moira,
one.
Moira, what do you get?
I get to copy Conjuration spells for half cost and half the time. And that's it.
Are you sure?
Yeah, fairly certain that's the only thing I get.
Minor Conjuration. Starting at second level, when you select the school, you can use your action to conjure up an inanimate object. Read the second bit of the place. Church, what do you get?
Now I can use a bonus action to hide, disengage, or dash. If I'm reading that right.
That's correct. Knuller, what do you get?
Thanks to his brilliance, he is now able to defend himself a little more, gaining +1 AC whenever he's in armor, and can finally smite the unholy, along with being able to cast spells, which I haven't quite decided yet, but mostly will be smites of some description.
Very good. And last but not least, Grunk, what do you get?
I get two things. So number one is I now have advantage on dex save throws against traps I can see and spells I can see, but I can't be blinded, deafened, or I can't say that word, but stuck basically.
Incapacitated.
That's the one. And the second one is I can now basically just not give a shit when I attack and just run in, and I get a advantage on my attack rolls when I use strength, but I also have advantage with strength rolls against me.
Yes, reckless attack, where you use all your might to strike down the foe, but leave yourself open to counterattack. So the party continues down the old road amongst the Vistani caravans. You see above you there is a gate looming. The fog spills out of the forest to swallow up the road behind you. Ahead, jutting from the impenetrable woods on both sides of the road, are high stone buttresses, looming grey in the fog. Huge iron gates hang on stonework. Dew clings with cold tenacity to the rusted bars, and two headless statues of armed guards flank the gate. Their heads are now lying amongst the weeds at their feet. They greet you only with silence. I'll show you that picture now. quite the fabulous bit of artwork.
Ooh, reminds me of the dwarven holds from Lord of the Grand and Mighty.
Reminds me a bit of Shadow the Colossus.
Oh yeah, I like that.
The gates swing open by themselves as they come towards as the carts head towards them. There doesn't appear to be anyone operating or moving the gates. The Vistani... Oh, go ahead.
Can I take a look at the statues to see if they're of anyone in importance, or I notice anything about?
Sure, make a perception check. They look a little similar to that guy you saw in the woods before. Similar sort of family features. But they look a lot less cruel and less ignoble than he did. Less of the mocking, sneering face. The Vistani wagons are trying to get going. They'll sit and wait for you if you want to look around, but they seem impatient.
This silence bodes ill. I say we onward.
Let us go.
Okay, Stanimir would certainly get the wagon moving again. Looking to Gwen, he would say, "Your flower is taking on the tune of Baravia." And he'd point to the little holly bush that Kraul had given. The leaves have turned black and the berries have turned a darker shade of crimson, like the colour of dried blood. As you swing through the archway, the doors slam shut behind you with a deafening clang. Oh, sorry. I thought he gave it to Gwen. If he gave it to you, sorry. Apologies, Moira.
I gave it to Moira.
Yes, then Moira would notice this. The magic of the flower you've created has been changed somehow upon passing through the gate.
Would I be able to do an Arcana check to see if I would know why?
Certainly, roll an Arcana check. See if you get any insight into why this has happened.
Does not seem like it.
Oh. You can't approach plant with an arcane perspective. Tell me, plant, what's wrong with you?
We have changed place. We are not in Faerun anymore. We are unable to leave.
Are we back in our original positions, or is everyone listening to Kraul talk to the...
Apart from Church being in the back wagon, you'd all be able to hear this in the front wagon with Stannis. Well, you'd be able to read Kraul's expressions. You wouldn't be able to hear the plant because only he can, because he's a druid. Does Kraul let the rest of the party know this, or does he keep it to himself?
There's something about this place. It's not natural.
Grunk sees Kraul's unease and unnerve and turns to the old man and says, "Old man, what place is this? Where have you brought?"
You are in Barovia. We come and go as we please, but it is a strange place. There is a curse upon our prince here. He needs saving. But Madame Ava will show you and tell you. She knows the ways. He seems very tired and drained from his travels, but still keeps the cart going.
You don't think it would have been nice to know, nice to let us know that there was a curse beforehand, right?
I told you in my tale. At the campfire of the problems lying upon our prince.
You only said that he has been cursed.
Would you have come if we told you everything? Of the wolves, of the bats, of the things that go bump in the night?
So I take it that man we saw back there, that's your prince?
What man did you see?
A wiry white man with eyes as dark as...
He introduced himself as Strahd.
Alas, that is our prince.
This man, eyes as black as onyx, is your prince?
He is the rightful heir to Barovia. You would doubt this? He gets a bit haughty at these words of you saying that you don't approve of his prince being the prince.
Would you happen to know what kind of curse has befallen him? I saw him smile, and it looked like some of his teeth were formed into fangs.
His history is a long and intricate one. He saved us all, and saved himself, but peace was restless upon Strahd. He conquered lands. Go ahead.
Ours has been a long and treacherous journey. Surely you have had time to tell us more of your prince.
No. Madame Ava must tell you. I am not worthy to tell and speak of this Barovian prince. He shakes his head and looks headlong into the road and keeps going.
Gwen
How far
whispers...
to this... Oh, sorry.
You go.
How far do we meet this madame you tell us all?
He would point on the map to the pools over here and say, our encampment is near there, but we must stop in the village of Barovia first. The village overlooked by the castle. Well, our horses are weary. We must find some rest for a day or two before we continue. And as he keeps going, the trees seem to loom up around you. The trees tower even higher here, and the tops are lost in the heavy grey mist, and they block out all but a very deathly grey light. The trunks seem unnaturally close together, and they exude the feeling of a forgotten grave or an unvoiced scream. They're so oppressive.
Can I scan the surrounding trees to see if I can see any of the wolves or anything that might be following?
Certainly. Make a perception roll. You don't hear any wolves, but you do smell something funny. Does anyone else want to make a perception?
Yes. But apparently I can't smell things. But, I'm gonna roll perception.
church catches the scent of death on the air. Sickly sweet.
Or maybe he doesn't. Church stays quiet, only using his lack of eyes to scan the horizon that falls behind the party as they move along in the caravan.
You would see the wolves at the gate prowling around as you turn the corner. They are sort of padding about, tongues lolling, teeth bared, and on the lookout for something. The smell of death gets stronger on the southern side of the road. You can stop the wagon if you want to, or you can let it just roll on and you can get going.
That church says nothing at all.
Okay.
Instead, he smiles.
That is disturbing. Does anyone else want to do anything before you continue on your journey and head on towards the village?
Would I be able to tell how long it'll be before Eleanor would be able to return to me with any response from the Duchess?
You'd be able to know because you can detect. No, that's out of a certain range. You'd have a rough estimate. You'd know it wouldn't take too long. Certainly a day or two has passed, so you'd be able to just resummon your familiar.
Alright.
Gwendolyn has been too busy discussing her concerns with Moira to pay attention to the shadows in the forest.
Okay. And Knuller and Grunk, what would you two be doing?
Knuller is... You mentioned the smell of death, or was that further back?
Sort of over here. Did you make a perception roll to see if you noticed anything?
I did not, sorry.
Feel free to roll one if you want to. Nope,
No.
You wouldn't notice anything.
He's too set on the old man and him travelling. He's weirded out by this strange man.
Grunk, from smelling that odd smell of death, doesn't say anything to Knuller, but keeps one hand on the hilt of his warhammer and keeps an eye out.
You seem tense, friend. I understand why.
It reeks here.
He gives him a sort of a look. He doesn't say it, but he's definitely thinking, but maybe it's the orc.
As you start leaving the forest and seeing the plain opening up ahead of you, the small raven Lenore returns. There is a small pouch tied to her leg, very small. And there's a little message inside. Does Moira read it to the party, or does she just read it to herself?
She'll read it to herself at first, and if there's anything important that she shares with the rest of the party, she'll tell them.
Okay, let me type the message out to you, 1 second. As you untie the message from Lenore, she looks a little bit thinner, a little bit emaciated, which seems odd for a conjured animal.
You're not looking too good there, Moira will say. Maybe it's time to send you back where you come from first for now. And then she'll temporarily dismiss Eleanor.
I think Gwen's been getting suspicious hearing the hushed whispers from everyone. Is it possible for her to do a perception check to see if Lenore was...
If you're actively listening, it could be a perception check. If you're just trying to hear passively, it'd be your passive perception check. Which are you trying to...
It's not really the content of what she's hearing, but the fact that suddenly everyone's whispering amongst themselves, she feels like they're being followed.
Okay, so you're listening out for things, right. Sure, make a perception check.
Alright, yay.
No, your nerves feel too rattled, and things are just preying in your mind. Every creak of the wheels of the wagon is just like nails down the chalkboard. It's just driving you a bit nuts being stuck here, and feeling this sense of entrapment building and building. Does Moira choose to read out the letter?
I was going to do so. I need to quickly remember what the Duchess's name is.
Lady Morwen.
Morwen?
Morwen.
Morwen, alright. Duchess Morwen is glad to see that we've managed to remove these people from being a nuisance to her, but she suspects that that there might be more to their story than what we've been told, and she believes it'd be best to seek out the Madame Ava.
Gwen responds, "Are we not on our way to see Madame Ava now?"
Mr. Harness would say, "Of course you are. Why else would we bring you here? It is a good thing. There'll be drink and there'll be rest there. Once we get to Barovia and the village, under the castle's light."
Grunk says to the old man, "How is it that Lady Morwen knows of your..." I forgot the other lady's name, sorry.
Madame Ava? She is
Madame
who we
Ava.
refer to. She is our leader. She knows much. She is old and wise. Older than even me! Ha 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 ha! And he spits on the side of the road as the cart travels and gives you his black, broken-toothed smile. And you begin pulling up towards the village ahead of you. It's roughly 5-6 p.m., but it still feels like it's twilight and dark. There is so little light in these places, and you see lights streaming out some of the buildings. And I will take you to the village. One second to load. And you would come in from the east. I was going to use the party token, but you can certainly drag your tokens on that. That's not a problem. There is smokes and chimneys, smoke coming from chimney, a few of the houses in the area. Some houses look completely abandoned and deserted. There are very few people out on the streets at present. They seem hurrying inside of places. You do hear a lot of noise coming from down the street, though, from this area over here. Sparse light spills out from behind drawn heavy curtains, and a sign over the door creaking on its hinges reads Bildrath's Mercantile. And across the street from it is another building which has a fair bit of light and noise. And through the illumination of the main square, there's a large sign hanging saying Blood on the Vine Tavern. The Vistani caravan pulls up into the main square, and they say, "We'll be resting here for a few days. You can tend to the needs of the villagers while we sort out our own affairs." Is this acceptable?
Thank you, old man. Your kindness has been greatly appreciated, if not skeptical.
Such are the times we have in these places. And a wail cuts through the sounds of the mercantile area and the noise of the tavern. The cry echoes from the south over here.
It sounds like there could be trouble. We should investigate.
Who knows what trouble stirs this night in this foreign land?
The moaning sobs echo from the grey streets, colouring your thoughts with terrible sadness. And from the two-story townhouse, just a moan keeps floating and ebbing out of it. The house is about 40 foot square, and it's very, very heavily boarded up and barricaded from the inside. You see things piled up against the doors and don't worry about positioning yourself too much. Just as long as we know where you are, it's fine. So everyone's gathering up out outside the house where the moaning and the sobbing was coming through.
Looks like it.
What would you all like to do? The moaning and the sobbing keeps going on.
When you say boarded up, are there any gaps in the board?
There's a few gaps in the wooden planks and things, yes. The downstairs seems pretty in bad condition. There's cobwebs and there is dust and filth everywhere. And the moans seem to be coming from the second story of the town.
Knuller will bang on whatever seems to be the closest door and yell out, "Is someone in there? Are you in danger?"
A curtain across the road flickers open. You see a brief shaft of light and say, "Go away! Leave that poor woman alone!"
I'm merely trying to help.
No one can help her. She's gone mad.
Mad how? Please tell me.
Make a persuasion check. The daughter ran away and something. She never came back. Poor Gertrude. She should have stayed with her mum. Poor Mary. Now she's gone mad.
I'd imagine that something untoward happened to her.
This house is no house but a shanty. Even the mad require sustenance.
Well, I'm not feeding her, and the shutter on the window is clattered closed.
I've had enough of her wails. Grunk goes up to the door and starts banging quite ferociously, trying to get the attention of the wailing.
In the meantime, Church is going to walk the perimeter of the home, checking the windows and the doors for any easily accessible way inside.
Make an investigation check to see whether you notice any easy ways inside. You do. You find that you think you can get through the window of the back of the kitchen.
So Church will make his way back around the front of the building, and he will make a clicking noise towards the rest of the party. And with his smile and his sunken eyes, he will wave his new friends closer, and he'll kind of nod his head around to the back of the building to show them the opening in the window at the kitchen. He'll lift his hand to his wide smile, and even with his teeth showing, he'll make a shush noise, and he will attempt to climb inside.
Okay, make an acrobatics roll. Yeah, you very easily get inside. And you can open the back door of the kitchen as you get inside. There's plates of old food and old rusted knives and kitchen utensils everywhere. It looks like someone has just given up hope on living. The moans continue upstairs, and she doesn't seem to pay attention to you entering. And the back kitchen door yawns open for the party.
Gwendolyn's going to look around for some town guards. Do I need to roll a check for that?
Down the street, you would see a large manor. And there'd be some guards standing down there, but they look very disinterested. They look like they're stamping their feet, breathing on their hands, and looking around with their spears, and generally seem afraid of something.
Then it is our duty to help this woman.
Of course. Welcome to this wailing old woman's home. Please allow yourself inside to investigate. Church will stand aside, and after everybody passes in, instead he will opt to posting up next to the door to make sure nobody tries to sneak in behind them. Oh, the turtle. Use the door. He'll stick his head out, just like all Kraul sees is like Church's head around, like sticking out at the doorway, looking down the side of the house at him with a smile.
Kraul, make an acrobatics check at disadvantage.
That's pretty good for a turtle.
Tiny, did you die?
Oh no. He dead.
The modem bandit strikes again.
That's okay. Tiny's incredibly resourceful, and in situations like this, he'll literally subscribe to fucking like a hotspot just to come back.
Okay, so 13. That's not bad. So Kraul is able to wiggle his way back out of the window with no problems. And no one seems to be alert.
Right. The door. Much more accessible.
Grunk stomps his way into the house and inspects the kitchen and the ruined food before picking up one of the plates and sniffing it and retching with the smell before throwing it into the other side. This place stinks.
So you're throwing the plate, is what I heard.
Yes.
So the plate shatters as it hits the floor, and you hear a wail and a cry from the upstairs.
So much for the element of surprise.
You hear someone crying, Gertruda, Gertruda, have you returned? My precious child, where are you? And a figure comes stalking down the stairs towards the kitchen.
Unfortunately, she doesn't have a refrigerator, but would Churcha be able to attempt to hide, like, underneath the kitchen table?
Yeah, you could duck behind something.
Do I need to roll stealth for that, or do I just do it?
Roll stealth in case you critically fail. No, you're fine. You hide pretty damn well. What does everyone else do as they hear this woman walking down the stairs and coming into the kitchen?
Knuller places his weapon on in his sheath, hip, wherever a morning star may go, and tries to look passive and non-aggressive as much as a dragonborn can.
Grunk panics and tries to put the plate back together with his bare hand.
Gwendolyn stops with her foot just above the threshold and utters a greetings. Salutation.
She looks past everyone and just looks around as if looking through you, looking for something. Gertruda, where are you? Where have you gone? She seems to be clutching a malformed doll. It has strange buboes and lumps and growths on its exposed sackcloth skin, and it's leering at you all strangely.
Does it look alive?
Make an investigation check. No.
That is a strange doll this lady is holding.
It was my Gertruda's. I gave it to her. It was mine, and I gave it to my little girl.
I mean no offense, ma'am.
The girl, what happened to her?
She starts crying, and she left the house. I told her not to leave the house.
But where did she go?
She starts rubbing in her face and just clawing at her cheeks. I don't know. I don't know where she's gone, but I fear the worst.
Would you like us to look for her?
No, she's a good girl. She'll come back. She'll come back eventually.
How long has she been gone?
She broke out of the house a week ago. I've not seen her since.
Have the guards not lent you their eyes and ears?
No, they have their own problems. The Burgomeister is plagued. The devil has come for him and his daughter. Poor Irina. She'll face the same fate as my Gertruda soon.
Can I show her the little pendant thing I picked up from the rider and ask her if she recognizes the picture?
Sure, you can hold it up to her and she'd stare at it blankly and go, what's that?
I ask her, do you recognize this pendant at all?
She'd just say no.
You say that the Burgomeister's daughter will face the same fate as yours. Then, my good madam, do you know what has happened to your Gertrude?
Strahd, he comes for all of his brides. The devil, he comes to take away the villagers, make them his playthings. He's terrible.
Strahd, your prince?
She would look very abashed and nod her head.
The people we travelled with, the old man whose name I've got, Stanvir?
Yes, that's right.
We were travelling with a wandering party that said they're from here, and they say your prince was cursed. Do you know anything about it?
She would start crying. I don't know anything. I just want my Gertrude back. After a while, she starts looking around despondently and returns upstairs and doesn't seem to pay attention to anything.
Church finally crawls out under the table after she leaves. Oh, goodness gracious, that woman was creepy. Let's investigate. And he will begin wandering around the house, looking to see if he can find anything about her daughter, or maybe like more information about her, like her age or what she looks like, so on and so forth.
There'd be a painting there. She looks quite young, teenage. I'll link the image of Gertrude.
Without skipping a beat, or acting as if he was doing anything out of the ordinary, Church will brandish a dagger, and he will cut the painting out. Pretty much about what the token looks like, an image of her face, and he will show it to the other members of the party. This must be her. So, let's, if interested, find redacted. And he will roll it up and stuff it away into his pocket.
Church, have you no respect for others' property?
I believe if we are to find her daughter, then this painting is of no value.
And if her daughter shall never return, you have taken the only memento she has left, aside from that hideous doll.
He pauses, and he'll look down to the rolled up the image that he stuffed into his pocket. He'll pull it back out and unroll it. He'll examine it, and he'll gasp, "Oh yes, what was I thinking?" And then he'll do his best to go back and try and amend what he had destroyed, even pulling out some unusual tools like some brushes and with some weird pasty like material that he attempts to glue it back together with. My apologies.
Very good.
We count as one of our number a sorceress who brings with her a bird. If we have eyes in the skies, what need have we for a curled pick?
Church will just kind of look around. I see no bird. Last I seen, the bird was sent away.
And you too can be sent away if I catch you stealing again.
Stealing?
Yes, stealing.
At this, Moira will pop her head in through the window and say, "Oh, if she ain't you, or if she isn't using it, she might as well not have it, right?" Better we know what the little lass looks like so we can show other people to help see if we track her.
Sorceress, how far abroad do you think we must travel? This is a small town. I am certain they know what the woman's daughter looks like.
I don't know if you've noticed, but everyone in this town seems to be a little on the odd side. I wouldn't vouch on all of them being so helpful.
Gwendolyn pauses, and she mutters to herself.
Indeed, this place is filled with weirdos.
Where would you like to go next? Or what would you like to do? You have found the source of the wailing.
I say we hit the tavern for information, and I would not say no to a glass of meat.
Okay, you certainly head up to the north in the tavern.
Yes, a delicious mortal beverage sounds amazing.
The Blood on the Vine tavern. It's about 60 feet square, and on closer inspection of the sign, it reveals that originally it said Blood of the Vine, but an N has been scratched over the F. A bunch of the Vistani are already inside from the caravan, and they are drinking heavily. There is one man who sits by himself at a corner table, and he seems to be of more noble look. He isn't the typical dour patron of the bar. And he sees you all walk in and raises a glass to you all.
I greet him with a nod to the head and a good evening to you, sir. What brings you?
I'm here drowning my sorrows. My sister is suffering the same fate as I think I saw you heading towards old Mad Mary's place. A similar fate to Per Gertrude. Are you sellswords looking for hire, or simply travellers having the worst luck imaginable?
Grunk slides into the booth next to him with a sly grin. We are interested in any form of work or information you care to.
Well, you seem capable of sorts. My name is Ismark Kolyanovich. I am the son of the Burgermeister. My adopted sister is currently under prey from the beast of Ravenloft. Strahd. He visits her at night. But I've heard that Valaki is well defended, and well, I want to get her out of this place. The barkeep raises his eyes as no one gets out of here. You know this, Ivanich. Nobody can ever leave. And he goes back to methodically and mechanically cleaning glasses again and again and again. Even if the glasses seem clean, he keeps just cleaning them again and again. Kolyanovich spits on the floor and says, I can leave. I can rescue my sister from this.
Gwendolyn walks in the door after he says he can rescue his sister. She had stayed behind to investigate whether there was any information on Gertrude. Investigation perception check.
What was it you were doing? Sort of narrate to me what you were doing to sort of investigate. Are you doing it in the house of Mad Mary, or were you just doing it with the different villagers dotted around?
She was looking around the dusty room to see if anything had been moved or if there was any other information that looked like it might be.
Sure. Make an investigation roll. You find an odd black flower. It doesn't seem to wilt, and it doesn't seem to feel like plant matter. It feels almost magical in its construction. It feels like it's like tingle to the fingers as you touch.
All right. I guess I will have that in my bag for the moment. I will ask, was it Ilyanovich?
Ismark Kilyanovich. I'll put his name in chat for you now.
All right. I will ask him I will ask him who his sister is and why she needs saving.
He'd lean back and say, my adopted sister, Irina Kolyana. She is pursued by Strahd. He has taken a liking to her, and what that beast likes, he destroys.
So we have heard.
And this Strahd, has he taken many women from the village?
He has his brides. Women who go and never come back. Compelled, charmed, stolen. Whatever he wishes.
How many have fallen to this fate?
Over the course of Baravia's history, too many to tell. But my sister will not be among them. I swear this.
You have a plan for saving her?
He visits my father's house, the Burgermeister's mansion to the south. He's done this many times, but I will no longer permit this. I will take her far away. I will take her to Vallaki, a settlement in the heart of the valley, beyond the castle's view. I hope that this is beyond Strahd's reach. It's a gamble, but she's in peril while remaining here. I've heard that Vallaki is well defended, but...
I fear that it may not be far enough. For we met with this Strahd even before arriving in your village.
And you lived? That doesn't bode well. He eyes you somewhat suspiciously.
He accosted us as we traveled in towards Boravia, and he was accompanied by one great wolf and 4 of her youngins.
The watchers at the gates, truly ferocious beasts. I've heard tell of them. People do not live long after seeing them. He throws his hands up and leans back and takes a big jug of wine and takes a large slot of it. The least I can do is treat you all to some drink. What would you have?
Now that's more like it. I'll have what you're having.
He gestures towards Arik, the barkeep, and the pudgy little man named Arik comes across another jug of wine, and the noble, the man known as Ismark, would slide across some currency, and you would see Strahd's face on the coinage. He slides across a silver piece, and the bartender takes it and scurries away back to his glass cleaning. And in front of you sits a dark purpley wine. There is a slightly acrid tang to it, but not unpleasing.
Can I just check if, sniff the wine to see if anything's weird with it before drinking?
Sure, make an investigation check. Smells like alcohol.
Grunk chugs 2 massive gulps of the wine before slapping his lips and letting out a bit.
It seems refreshing enough. It's got a nice bite to it, and a bit more kick than you'd expect from just wine.
Gwendolyn
goes bravo.
Gwendolyn takes a sip as to not offend her host, and then she says, "Thank you for your hospitality, kind sir. But shall you be requesting assistance? I dare not imbibe."
The night is early still. The beast is yet to come out of his lair. Though there have been screams and things moving at the east of town. The houses begin to crawl with unsightly things. Just recently, the family to the east, one of the older families of the area, disappeared. No one's heard of them since.
How many were lost?
A mother and a father and their 2 children.
You speak of young women disappearing to Strahd, your prince, but it seems strange that a man and a grown woman shall disappear.
The Durst family have... well, they are a den of wolves. They have strange and peculiar tastes. Servants come and never seem to leave.
Perhaps we should investigate this Durst family. Perhaps they hold some information that we do yet not know.
He would point out the house over there to the east and say, if you wish to investigate, but the house has been deserted for weeks. No one has come or gone from it.
This is a strange occurrence. I agree with... that was Grunk asking, right?
That was.
Yes.
I agree with Grunk. We should investigate. Perhaps we can alleviate some of the despair and despondency in this village.
Ismark would smile and brightness and go, should you do so, there'll be more wine waiting for you if you come back.
If you come back. Gwen says inquisitively.
People disappear in Baravia and never seen again. This is a place of misfortune and despair. That beats everyone's passive perception, so yes, you managed to switch the flagons.
Grunk goes to drink from his flagon without realizing what's occurred and lifts it to find a refilled flagon that wasn't there before and smiles at the strange man with the strange smile.
Church will he'll act as if he's drinking Grunk's empty flagon now that it's in his possession, and he'll slam it on the counter. This beverage was delicious.
Grunk lets out a mighty laugh and turns to Church. I like you, little man.
He just smiles and nods and wanders off, trying to hide the empty flagon now.
Very good. So, do you all wish to proceed to the strange house over there, or do you wish to do something else in the village with the mercantile building, or the Burgomeister's house to the south? Or explore somewhere else. There is other places. There is a large churchyard to the northwest.
Oh, I guess that is a church and a graveyard, huh?
Yes, that is correct.
Well, given the amount of fog, I don't think that Gwendolyn is able to see the steeple in the distance.
You'd see all the iron railings once you're sort of circling and as you're coming towards town. It'd be pretty obvious. You wouldn't see a lot of the fine detail, but you would recognise all those big bits of stone jutting out of the ground. Probably a graveyard. And you could see up the road towards the church doors from where you were.
I suppose we should probably visit that house and see what's going on. I'm sure the other places will still be there if we come back.
Okay, so you head towards the house. I don't think it's Silent Hill here. It's got Silent Hillish vibes.
I was more referring to the level of fog, but...
So this will be our first attempt at using the dynamic lighting tool. Hold on to your butts as you come over to the house. I'll drag your tokens onto the board. 1 second. It'll be all black until I do so, but you should be able to see once I put you on to the feed.
And once Roll20 load page.
And once Roll20 loads the page, yes. Can you all see?
No.
A little.
Oh, there we
It's
are.
quite dark.
Way down at the
I didn't
bottom.
realize we're at the bottom.
Yeah, bottom left. It is currently nighttime. If someone wants to pull out a torch, they can. For those of you who have dark vision, you'll be able to see normally. For those of you who don't, it's dark.
So is this bit above us here? Is this the doorway?
That is the doorway indeed. Moira, as part of the message that you received, there was also a small ring encased in the message. It allows you to cast the light cantrip.
Oh, nice.
Very, very bottom left side, yes. Would you like to cast light on anything? Or anyone?
with Gwen and Church's. Does Church have dark vision?
No, he does not.
Alright, with Church's and Gwen's permission, Moira will cast light on both of them.
Church will not refuse.
Gwen gives you a silent nod.
Okay, I will add it to their things now.
For some reason, the map is refusing to load for me. It's in a infinite loading loop.
Are you at the bottom left of the screen, or is it actually just saying loading?
It says roll 20 loading, and then it's cycling through the different loading messages it has.
Try giving it the old restart.
Yeah, I'll refresh it again, see if it keeps doing it, because I've already refreshed.
People should now see light emanating from Church.
I do. It's a very nice.
Very fancy.
Gwendolyn takes a look at the house. She surveys its doors and windows.
Okay. That is a very good thing to do. A wrought iron gate with hinges on one side and a lock on the other fills the archway of a stone portico. The various windows are covered in dust and grime, with most of the shutters flung closed. There are sets of oaken doors and grand balconies around a pretty well cut and smoothed stone building. You can move up and around it like so, as long as you don't cross into the area behind it. So you could circle around the house and you would see various things.
Right.
There are windows and so on, so you'd be able to see partially into the building. You would see dusty dining rooms. Okay, yeah, try rebooting the whole thing, Bladeskull.
Yep, I'll see you in a few minutes.
All right. So Gwendolyn was looking to see if any of the windows or doors were ajar. Is that a perception check?
That'd be just very basic, and none of the windows seem to be open. They all seem the shutters drawn.
It looks solidly shut.
Can I just knock on the door?
You certainly can. There appears to be a large iron wrought gate blocking your way.
Can I give the gate a rattle to see if it's locked or strong?
Certainly. You give it a rattle and it opens with a on rusty hinges, and they shriek when they're open.
I'm so fucking scared.
Thank you, Rev. Not sure if sarcastic or...
Can I stand in here now if I've opened the gate?
You certainly can. Hanging on the south wall of the foyer is a shield emblazoned with a coat of arms, a stylized golden windmill on a red field, flanked by framed portraits of stony-faced aristocrats, long-dead members of the family, you'd imagine. And these doors open up.
Grunk turns back towards the rest of the party and winks and says, "After you."
Gwendolyn steps forward and passes into the hallway.
You would see more of the emblazoned shields and portraits. It's very dusty in here. The light glinting off. Very good. The sneeze echoes around the building and reverberate.
Gwendolyn calls outside. "Come hither. The area is secure."
I'll put Moira just at the back of the party for the time being. So what's everyone doing? What's everyone feeling at present?
Can Grunk listen, like put his ear to the next door to see if he can hear anything on the other side?
Certainly. Move up to the door if you want.
I think I figured out a problem with the sliding system, though.
What's that?
I can pick up my token and just hold on to it, move it around the map, and fucking see anything. Like, without actually moving my token at all, I can look into rooms and stuff.
Yeah, if you pull it past a wall, it will do that.
Scout's honor, though. I'm not going to break my immersion.
I hope not. So make a perception. Just look at. Still in an infinite loop, Bladeskull.
Yep.
What's it showing?
I'll take a screen grab and post it in the Discord.
Okie dokie.
Have you tried a different browser?
That might help. I use Firefox.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to try that.
So with the 21, you'd hear nothing, and then suddenly sound of feet running on the floor.
I turn back to the rest of the party and say in a lower voice, "I've heard something in there. Sounded like..."
Maybe you should knock again.
I knock.
Hello? 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 Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Who's there? Who's there? Who's there? And it fades into nothingness.
This house is not empty, it would appear. Grunk. When you heard something, do you know what you heard? Can you tell me what you think it?
It sounded like many feetfalls pattering or almost running.
It would sound like very small footfalls, almost childlike. Would you like to open the door?
Gwendolyn's gonna call out first. Reply to the echoing voice. It is a group of adventurers come to see whether the residents of this fine manor are healthy.
There's monsters. There's monsters. In the basement. There's monsters in the basement. can't go down there. We can't go down there.
May we
takes a
enter?
look back at the...
Sorry, I got two messages there. Grunk does something, and Gwen
ignore
does
what I
something.
said.
Gwendolyn calls out, "May we enter?"
The previous message comes back of, "Who's there? Who's there? I don't know. Who's there?"
Grunk instead pushes the doors open slowly, just enough so the entire party can peer in.
Okay, 1 second. I'll move that one. You see a wide hall that runs the width of the house and black marble fireplace on one end of the sweeping red marble staircase at the end. Mounted on the wall above the fireplace is a longsword over here, with a windmill cameo worked into the hilt. The wood-panelled walls are innately sculpted with images of vines, flowers, and nymphs and satyrs.
Church will slowly turn his head to look behind himself, but his head will actually turn a full, 180 degrees to look at the turtle behind him. This place is terrifying. Please stay close. And then his head will continue to turn the same direction until it reaches its original position, and he'll slowly slink inside.
Gwendolyn will mutter to herself, "There is something strange about that man." And then she will step softly into the main hall.
Okay. What is everyone's passive perception?
16.
16, okay. So Church would notice this. What's everyone else's? Just type it quickly in chat. Okay, so 12 or higher, you would notice on the various nature-themed mosaics on the walls and the wood panelling, there are small skulls inconspicuously woven into the wall design. And the decorative panelling flows up the stairs and circles up to a second floor. And the skull motif gets darker and darker. There seems to be more of it as it goes up the stairs.
These skulls on the wall, they lead to the second floor. Perhaps that is where the voice is coming from.
But the voices told us that the beast we search is in the base. The beast we seek.
It said there was monsters in the basement. Well, how you infer that is entirely up to you.
There may be monsters in the basement, but at least we could check upstairs, make sure there isn't more of them, or that whatever we're hearing's lying.
So you want to go upstairs straight away, is what I'm hearing.
Can I have a look at the sword on the man?
Certainly. You want to take it down and mess around with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's above this fireplace, yeah?
That is correct, yes.
Knuller will grab the sword's hilt and just carefully take it down.
It flies out of your hand.
What the hell?
Please roll for initiative. the sword whooshes out of your hands, begins hovering in the middle of the air, and goes to strike.
Okay, I've got this message. You wanted to send the result of this roll to the turn tracker, but no valid token was selected.
Select your token. Always remember to have your token selected when you're doing initiative. So click it and then click initiative.
Crap, that means I lost my really nice roll.
No, I'll re-add the roll, don't worry.
Alright.
Are you fixed, Bladeskull, by the way?
Nope. I tried with the other browser I had installed, and that browser's even more fucked than Firefox is at the moment. Or not Firefox, that Chrome is at the moment.
Have you tried Internet Explorer?
Yeah, that was the other browser.
And have you not tried Firefox yet?
I didn't have it installed. I'm doing that right now.
Always. I'll roll your own initiative then.
Have you tried clearing your cache and all of that?
Yep, just did that. It seems to be an issue between my account and Roll20 itself. I don't know if any browsers or any of that's going to fix it. Maybe trying to swap the map back to something else and then back into this might work, but
Okay, will do.
But I don't know if that's going to break it for anyone else.
Okay, try log into your account. Are you logged in present?
Yep, I'm currently in the game.
Okay, I'll take us back to the village. Can everyone see the village?
Yes.
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 Bladeskull?
I am still loading.
Hit refresh to see if you...
There we go, I loaded in.
Okay, I'll take us back to the house. Has it loaded okay for everyone this time?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It has not loaded for me.
Right.
Is your Chrome up to date?
I had no way of checking. It should be, though.
Because, I mean, it's possible maybe that the website itself isn't working with your edition of Chrome or with an older Windows. I don't know if this is a new feature, so it might not have been programmed for older systems or browsers.
As long as you can access your character sheet, I'll narrate to you my best ability, and you'll see on Rev's stream the layout of the map. And I'll keep you up with the party. You can still interact and ask things and so on. Is that okay?
Yeah, I can work with that.
Okay. So Gwendolyn, your turn is first. You see the sword fly out of Knuller's hands and swing toward...
Am I able to strike with a shield?
No. Not that a shield mastery feat.
Well, in that case, I will pull my short sword out of its sheath.
Okay. That's part of your move action, that's fine.
And if I'm allowed, I guess I'll just try giving it a...
Go for it. An 11 will miss. Kraul.
Kraul will whirl around his scimitar and try to give it a slash.
18 will hit. For 6 slashing damage. You clang into it blade to blade, and the blade wobbles and shakes. Knuller.
I suppose he'll just try and hit it with his morning star.
Go for it. Okay.
Badly miss.
Roll a d100. Higher is better, lower is worse. No, nothing untoward happens. Church.
I can't exactly disengage from here, can I?
Yeah, you can disengage.
Where would that put me?
You can move wherever you want to. Disengaging as bonus action means it doesn't get opportunity attacks on you.
Fantastic. So I will disengage over here behind, well, maybe not behind Grunk, between Kraul and Grunk, and take a shot with the crossbow.
Go for it. That will miss.
That'll be my turn.
The flying sword swings at Knuller.
It misses.
Damn. Moira, it is your turn. You see a flying sword flying just in front of Gwendolyn and in front of Knuller. It is trying to strike at Knuller and it's battering at his shield. Do you have a shield?
I do.
Yeah, it sort of clangs off the shield.
I will use Witch's Bolt, or Witch Bolt.
Okay.
I should probably give you the description for that.
20 hits.
I can sustain the attack as my action for the duration of the spell, causing 1d12 lightning damage on each turn that I sustain.
Okay. The lightning ripples out and courses over the blade. It seems to damage the magic that's animating it.
And that will be the end of Moira's turn.
Okay, Grunk. You're caught a bit on the back foot as this thing flies out in front of you.
I pull out my warhammer and go to whack it ferociously.
That will miss. You'll need to move closer though, because you don't have reach with that weapon. There you go. Yeah, you swing at it, but it just sort of definitely darts out of the way. Back to Gwendolyn.
I will take another swing at this, quite literally.
18 hits.
That is a 1d.
If you click the little text of short sword on the chat window, not on your cat sheet, on the actual chat window itself, it'll roll the damage. Like you did with the crossbow bolt. Okay. So you hit it for 6. You thrust into the side of the blade and catch it, and it cracks a little bit. Kraul.
I'll try to give it another hit with my scimitar. And
No. Darts out the way again, like a fly.
It's too dark in here.
Knuller. Well, imagine if you didn't have this light spell. You'd be really boned. 19 will hit. For 4. Okay. It's looking very cracked and battered now. Church.
We'll fire his crossbow yet again.
You hit it out of the sky. Tell me how you defeat it.
He will press his crossbow between Kraul and Grunk and stabilize the ranged weapon between the 2 other party members, and he'll fire a shot. It hits the hilt of the sword, causing it to spin in the air and ricochet down towards the ground, and it will, with a loud clang, it will lodge itself into the floor tiles, immobile now.
Very good. And the house goes still and silent clouds of dust puffing up from the floor tiles where the sword is wedged.
Ooh, swords could attack from the mantle. Can I reach an arm up into the... Is it a fireplace?
Yes.
Can I reach an arm up into the fireplace to see if there's anything possibly up the chimney or in the ashes?
Are you going to stick your entire head up, like sort of getting under and into it, or are you just putting your arm up and blindly feeling around?
I suppose he'll stick his head in there and have a look about.
Okay, the light shines up there, and you see it goes up a few stories. It seems to go quite a ways up, possibly 4 stories.
Did the house look that tall from outside?
It did not.
He'll pull his head out, have a look around and at the stairs, and then put his head back in. And as he comes out, it appears that this chimney goes far higher than what it seems to be in here. Maybe a few stories higher.
A magic house and a magic sword. Fantastic.
Then still your hands and reach not for that which does not belong to you.
Don't preach to me, girl.
Moira will walk over to the animated sword that is now very much not animated, and will investigate it using Arcana and investigation to see if there's anything magical about it, or if there's anything more to it. I guess the words I would want to say is.
Certainly. Sure, give me your Arcana roll first, see if you think there's any magic left in the thing. You think there's still magic in the blade. It's still unerringly sharp. And now give me your investigation roll. You think it must have belonged to the family. It's got the Durst family crest on it that seems to match the portraits that are labelled in the foyer. Whether it will come back to life or not, you're not entirely sure. There's a chance that it might. It doesn't seem to be particularly friendly. A bit belligerent, some might say, from its attitude.
If we have the time, I would like to. Okay, the cast time is only 1 minute, so I would like to identify the spell, or use cast identify on the sword.
Okay, it is a +1 sword, +1 longsword.
Hooray!
There is, however, a 10% chance whenever you use it in combat, it will become animated again and attack the wielder. It is cursed.
Moira will relay that to the people in the party, saying, "Oh, this is this sword is what are the words I want?
The sword is magically sharp.
It's magically sharp, and for anyone who uses a long sword, they can use it, but be careful; it could reanimate at any point while using it."
As well fit for anyone who would pilfer someone's sword. Gwendolyn points to the staircase and says, "Come, did you not want to investigate the upper story?"
If like someone did take the sword, but they didn't use it, it was just in their inventory, does the curse still, like, will it just randomly try and attack you still?
You're not sure.
Interesting.
It is currently a dormant flying sword. It is a very sharp flying sword that will attack people. It is somewhat belligerent.
Moira will take it if no one's going to use it. She'll carry it with her in a... Wait, how the hell would I be carrying... Okay, yeah, she'll just leave it. As much as I would like to take it, I have really no way of carrying it around with me.
I shall leave it for now.
Okay. See the sword and the stone, proverbially. So you don't want to check any of the rooms downstairs, you're all going straight upstairs.
Oh, before we go up, can I give it a big thwack on top of its hilt to put it further into the floor?
You can.
Do I need to make any sort of attack?
Sure, make an attack roll. See how well you do it. You hit it as hard as you can on top of the pommel, and it seems to resist some of your effects. It goes into the stonework, but it seems like it's fighting.
Can I push Knuller out the way and laugh and say, "This is how you do it"?
Sure. Make another attack roll. Yeah, it goes driven deep, almost hilt deep into the floor.
A mighty feat, friend. Nice hit.
I playfully punch Knuller on the shoulder and laugh and walk.
Good job, Bladeskull.
I was getting pretty fucking tired of Chrome anyways.
Boys and their games.
So, any doors downstairs you want to open, or can I move you on to the next part of the map?
Have a look in this little room.
Yeah, I was about to say, is this a little room above where I am?
Yeah, there's a door. Any of those white squares that you see, they're doors.
Okay. If Knuller doesn't mind, I'd quite like to open the door to that room.
He'll let him, because obviously he's mighty and strong and managed to do such.
You find a cloakroom. It has several black cloaks hanging from hooks on the walls, and a top hat sits on a high shelf, and one small bag sits on a shelf as well.
Can I inspect the top hat?
You certainly can. You reach out to grab it, and a swarm of moths comes erupting out of it and fluttering in your face in the dark.
But do I notice anything? Is it just a dusty top?
It seems like it's just a dusty top hat. The bag has strange symbols and diamond-shaped coloration on it.
Can I put the top hat on my head and then investigate the bag?
Sure. A couple of cocoons fall into your hair, and the moth-eaten top hat rests proudly on your forehead, or your forehead at the top of your hat, top of your head. The bag feels very light, almost weightless.
I turn back and sort of shout back into the room. I found a strange bag here with runes and symbols. It seems to have... should I inspect it, or are we scared of another sword inside?
Gwendolyn scoffs. Are you here to play dress up, or are you not here to find the...
Grunk huffs and laughs and says, "A little bit of both."
Oh, it was adorable. Very good. Moira, you would instantly recognise this as being a bag of holding.
Oh, I know that. It's a bag of holding. At least I'm fairly certain. Interesting that it's just lying there.
Can I pick up the bag and throw it to Moira as she identifies?
They're quite common magical items that used for carrying and containing things.
Really? They're common? I thought they'd be a fair bit rarer.
No, it's not that rare. People like storing stuff and carrying things.
Grunk throws the bag to Moira and says, I have my top hat, you can have the bag.
Ah, good. Now I don't have to worry about carrying the sword. I can just stick it in here. Wait. It's... Right, it's currently impaled through the floor, isn't it?
It is indeed. And Knuller wanted to open this door, so I'll do that for you now.
He'll wander in. I can't see past much of it in here.
I shall join you.
It appears to be a wood-panelled dining room with a carved mahogany table surrounded by 8 high-backed chairs. There is a crystal chandelier hanging and swaying ever so gently in a breeze that doesn't seem to come from anywhere. The silverware and the crystalware is polished to a dazzling shine. As you get closer to the fireplace, you see that there's a pretty amazing piece of art there. A mahogany frame painting of an alpine vine. But as you get closer, you start seeing strange things in the painting. You see twisted faces carved into tree trunks and wolves lurking among the foliage.
Do they look like the wolves we saw outside of the town?
They do.
Cursed picture. Who would paint such a monstrosity?
There are currently drapes covering the windows to the north of you.
Can I sweep all the drapes to the sides of the rooms more illuminated?
Certainly. As you do so, the drapes are drawn to one. As you do this, the silverware begins to crack and the crystal begins to fade and become brittle and shatter.
What have you done now?
The portrait begins to fade and rot, and the tapestry just collapses and starts bubbling into a mess. Make a dexterity saving throw, Grunk, Gwendolyn, and Kraul, as the crystal rains down. DC is 12. So Grunk, you take 1d4 damage. You can roll the 1d4 yourself. As the silver cracks and the crystal the silver corrodes and the crystal cracks and shatters and hits you. You take 4 points of damage.
Holy mother of God, what is this? Blasted silver.
Are you satisfied now with your desecration of this house?
The strange transformation happened as the light beamed in through and he pulled the drapes down. What that means, you're not sure.
How strong's the light? I thought it was twilight out.
It was dark outside, but there's still enough light to change the ambience of the room.
How was I to know this furniture would be so sensitive to certain... Clearly this house is more to it than we originally thought.
Gwendolyn is going to check the ruins or the wreckage of the crystal chandelier to see if there's anything or anything that would indicate what had happened.
The crystal seems to have just almost combusted and just not combusted, exploded and just peppered the room in shards of fine, sharp crystal. As the remains are swinging and hanging there, you notice that there is a small iron sigil on the top of the chandelier. It appears to be a snarling wolf's head.
More wolves.
These damn wolves are a bad luck charm.
Would you like to open any more doors?
Before we do, can I just have a general inspect of the room to see if anything seems amiss or different?
With your passive perceptions, you would notice the painting having changed, the silverware having corroded, the crystal obviously smashing, the draperies rotting away.
Ah, okay.
Has anything not corroded?
The iron sigil of the wolf's snarling face on the chandelier's pivot.
Can I have another look up the fireplace, or is it the same as before?
It's a different fireplace. This one seems to also go up further than you expect. There appears to be a stoppage at the top. Some sort of mechanical device is blocking part of the view at the very top. Some sort of stove or something.
Okay. He won't relay this. This doesn't seem important for now.
If we are exploring this accursed place, may I suggest we find another room? This one does not seem to have anything else of interest.
Is Kraul going to open that door? I take that as a no.
I'll give it a try. Knock first before entering.
So you actually knock on this door. Okay.
It's only polite.
You give it a... and nothing answers.
It seems safe enough. Guess I'll pop it open.
You enter into what seems to be a kitchen area. It's fairly tidy with dishware and cookware and utensils neatly placed on shelves, a work table with a cutting board and a rolling pin on top of it. A stone dome-shaped oven stands near the east wall, and a bent iron stovepipe connects to a hole in the ceiling. All the food in the pantry appears fresh, doesn't seem rotted. And to the southeast appears to be a little dumbwaiter.
How do you explain this? The house is under weeks of dust, but this apple looks like it was picked only yesterday.
Can I grab one of the apples?
Certainly.
Does anything happen?
You grab it, it feels like a firm apple in your hand.
It's strange, this fruit seems so fresh and normal compared to everything else we've discovered in this house.
As you pick the apple up, the door to the north creaks open, and a pantry is revealed, with more food.
I peek my head into said pantry.
There are more provisions. Again, it all appears like it's fresh, and looks like it's just been baked or bought that day.
I shout out to the rest of the party, is anyone hungry? And
You would have us attacked by flying pickles?
I've fallen into this trap many times before. Never again.
I wouldn't trust any of the food here. It's like the house itself is trying to bait us.
Is there anything of note in this pantry apart from the food?
No, the food's the primary thing. It's just stacked on the shelves. It looks like it's all very fresh and very inviting.
This house is weird.
Gwendolyn is going to take a look at the stove and see if it's still...
See if it's still what, sorry?
If it's still warm.
No, stove is cold. Inside there is a thin brown paste, though.
I'm going to look close.
It looks like it's some sort of food. You can't place what it is, though.
How does it smell?
Rich and meaty. You can make a survival check to figure out what it is. This would be at disadvantage, though, because you probably wouldn't have dealt with this thing before.
Well, considering I'm guessing what this is, yeah, I don't think my character's dealt with it.
Because I have survival as one of my skills, can I help with the check?
You can make your own check, that's fine. You can sort of blunder past her and go, oh, you both look at each other and go, it's brown. It smells meaty.
I'm familiar with food.
How do I disadvantage?
When rolling advantage or disadvantage, for advantage you take the higher of the two numbers, for disadvantage you take the lower of the two numbers. I just do it automatically in my head rather than using the modifier. Kraul would recognise this as being bone meal.
You fat bitch.
Bone meal.
The centre of bones, bone marrow, that's been pulped and broken up and cooked into something.
Oh. Guess I'll relay that information to everyone else.
Bone meal. Where is that sorceress? I remember, back in my other life, there was talk of bone meal and its use by certain despicable beings to advance their ill-gotten magic. So I am going to go looking for Moira.
There is another doorway over here, Moira. But Gwendolyn comes stomping up behind you.
Oi! Moira! I have a question. You know of magics. What would you use bone meal?
They could use it for various things. From certain spells, if I remember correctly, and potions. Though, what's bone meal doing in a kitchen?
I know not.
Is this a little doorway underneath where I am at the moment?
That is a dumbwaiter. That is a device used for lifting up and down various goods. If you were a small enough character, you could crawl inside there, I think.
Could I just inspect it inside, see if there's anything currently in?
Sure. It's a dumbwaiter attached to a simple rope and pulley mechanism that seems to be hanging loosely in the shaft. And next to the wall is a little brass bell attached to wires. It smells oddly sweet.
So the actual dumbwaiter itself isn't on the kitchen floor, it's sort of in the dumbwaiter, like halfway up.
It's a little bit up. It's on the hill, but it's a little way up, and it smells like sweets and candy emanating from the dumbwaiter's box.
Can I pull the dumbwaiter down to my level so I can see what?
Sure, you can start pulling on the rope and pulling it down.
I do that.
You see a little half-eaten pastry. It looks very stale.
I grunt at it and decide to leave it where it is and close the dumbwaiter.
Okay, you slap the covering shut, and the dumbwaiter hangs where it is. As you begin to walk away, you hear the slight tinkle of the brass bell. You turn around, it's not moving.
I mentioned to the rest of the party that the discovery of said slightly haunted.
It was not fresh.
The food was not fresh like the rest of said supplies and food we found, and the bell seems to have a mind of its own.
I have not heard nor seen that strange man with the limber neck. Has anyone seen?
Not for quite a while.
We have lost one of our own in this house. Truly the devil's work is.
We'll just see Church's nose and his enormous white smile, like protrude from out of the shadows underneath the stairs. Hello, friends. I am still here, just watching your backs. And then he will slowly sink back into the darkness underneath the stairs.
Out of everything I've seen so far, that has to be one of the creepiest things so far today.
Is Knuller opening this door to the south?
Sure.
You open the door to the sight of a fairly formal room. Oak paneling makes it look like a hunter's den. Mounted above the fireplace is a stag's head. Positioned around the outskirts of the room are 3 stuffed wolves. Padded chairs draped in animal furs face the hearth, and an oak table between them supports a cask of wine with 2 carved wooden goblets and a pipe rack.
More wolves.
There is a large cabinet to the northeast, and it appears to have a selection of ranged weapons inside of it. But it does seem locked.
Church will be investigating that cabinet.
There appears to be a heavy crossbow, a light crossbow, and 2 hand crossbows inside there, along with 20 bolts for every weapon.
Does it appear to be trapped in any way?
No, it just seems locked. The lock is fairly rudimentary. There is a small brass windmill-shaped lock with a red crest on the background and a hoop across the top of it. A key goes. Well, a key goes in the crest, and the hoop is the locking mechanism.
What is the, is it just a wooden thingy?
Over here, you mean? Ping where you mean?
I mean, is the wardrobe-looking thing just a piece, like a wooden wardrobe?
It's a wooden cabinet. There's also one under Grunk that just seems to be holding a set of glasses and some playing cards.
Do these wolves look alive? Like, do they... don't know how to word that. Knuller's going to go over and poke one of the wolves.
Narrate to me how you're doing it.
He wanders over looking, sort of having a look into its eye, sort of beast to beast, and pokes it with his morning star.
Where are you poking it?
Let's say in the face.
It feels like it's a skin draped over something. There is a thin wooden skeleton underneath the wolf's skin. It's a reasonable taxidermy job, but it doesn't seem alive.
Creepy. Not unheard of, but still odd.
Can I inspect the wine and the glasses to see if they've been used recently or if the wine's gone off?
Do you smell the wine, or narrate to me what you're doing?
So I go over to, was it like a barrel with some chalices next to it?
It is a barrel with 2 cups either side of it, and it's sort of propped up by a small wooden wolf head.
Yeah, I go over and sniff the wine.
It smells very bland.
I check it to see if it's poisoned or anything.
How would you do such a thing? With nature check? Like, sort of see if he smells like anything you'd recognise from your training, or you sort of like, if you had a poisonous kit, you could do that feasibly with a skill check, but you could just smell it, I guess, at present.
Okay, I won't bother then. I'll just lay that the wine seems very normal compared to everything else we've sort of discovered in this.
There are shutters on these windows as well. If you want to open them, it's entirely up to you. Did you want to pick the lock on the cabinet of weapons, Church?
Nope, he's just standing there staring at it.
Didn't someone have a key or something, or did I hear that wrong?
There is a crest over here that has the family Durst symbol on it. The cabinet over here has a crest-shaped lock on it. There is the red shield motif with a golden windmill embossed on it, with a hoop of brass over the top of it, which locks the cabinet shut.
And the one that's here in front of me, is this also locked?
No, that's just open. There is various glasses, and there are playing cards and games and things there.
I sort of rummage through this cabinet and maybe take the playing cards, but also sort of see if anything's under the games or anything's weird about the game.
Okay, so you take the playing cards, and they seem to tumble out of your hands as you try to grasp a hold of them.
Strange. It seems like everything in this house is trying not to let us get near it or take it with us. It's almost if it doesn't want to be taken away from the house.
Oh no.
Oh, it didn't work. Damn. I'll figure that out next time. But a card falls to the floor, and it should be revealing itself, but it's not doing it.
Well, I mean, I have the option to draw one.
I'm doing it present. It should be drawing a single. Yes.
What the fuck?
Is that a beholder?
Yes, it is.
Beholder.
So Knuller is knocked tumbling back as the image of a beholder appears in front. And its tentacles begin waving around, projecting light and aiming at you and screaming. What would you all like to do?
Gwendolyn hears the clamor and pokes her head through the door.
Are you here to play a game?
I was waiting for you to finish playing before we went so we could go upstairs.
Moira was checking outside, but after hearing a commotion, she runs in and is like, and shouts, "By the gods! What the? How did that get here?"
It doesn't seem to be producing any actual tangible effect as it sort of swipes and beams and projects things towards poor Grunk.
So is it like a hologram almost?
It is an illusion.
Can I attempt to pick? Is it still like a card, or is it?
The card is currently fizzing on the floor.
Can I attempt to just pick the card up?
You push your hand through it, and the illusion disappears.
Oh, strange. It's almost like a very intense real game. Can I also then take the card with me?
It is fizzled and has been used. It is now gone.
Well, with everybody distracted by the illusion and the cards, Church will make an attempt to unlock the cabinet.
Okay. Use your thieves' tools, please. Yeah, you easily open up the lock. And now make a sleight of hand to see if anyone notices. This will be advantage.
Oh, he doesn't care if anybody notices. He just doesn't want anybody seeing his thieves' tools. Or where they're at. So he'll unlock it and then noisily swing the doors open.
Okay, so you make a pretty good damn distraction, and the thieves' tools is, flawless. So the lock falls to the floor, and the door swings open. What does Church say or do?
Ammunition. These will help greatly against the beasts.
Okay, so you can add a light crossbow, a heavy crossbow, and 2 hand crossbows to your inventory if you want to put them in the bag of holding.
Yeah, he's not interested in those. He just goes for the bolts.
Okay, you can take 80 bolts.
Who was the one? Who else was using the crossbow?
I believe Gwendolyn was.
Leave your ill-gotten goods, thief.
You have a confusing term for a thief. I'm not sure who I'd be stealing from.
Is this your house?
Is this anyone's house?
Do you not see the food in the pantry? Did you not hear about the food in the dumbwaiter? It is someone's house. Is it?
A ghost, perhaps. Holy shit, I hope these things don't weigh a lot.
No bolts anyway, 0.25.
Alright, with that, Gwendolyn is going to huff and walk out of the room and start going upstairs.
Okay, I'll move your character token upstairs. 1 second, please.
She's about halfway.
So
Out of curiosity, did anyone notice an actual staircase leading to the basement?
That is a good point.
Perhaps there is a hidden way that we've yet to discover.
Some dwellings also have passages to the basement outside of the main building.
A good point.
So everyone's going upstairs now, yeah?
Before I go, could I go ahead and bathe this entire room in light and just rip the curtains down?
Sure thing. I'll do that now.
Much better.
Moira, the cabinet's open if you want to fucking take those crossbows. in your bag of holding.
Oh yeah, no one's using them. Might as well take them.
The wolves seem to shrivel and shrink, and the wood inside them distorts, and the skins collapse and fall to the floor.
Okay, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't try to trap you. Oh, or was that because of the light?
Because of the light, yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was because Moira took the crossbows.
The wine on the table begins to fizzle, and smoke begins to waft at the top of the cask. Kraul, make a perception check. You swear you saw the skins on the floor move.
Yeah, something isn't right about these wolves. Could I get a closer look at them?
Sure. The skins, once you get closer up to them, seem to be crawling with maggots on the inside, and they're all squirming around in the sunlight.
Oh, I'm sorry for my intrusion. I best leave them alone.
They start following you.
Oh, no. I'm not your mother.
You three had one upstairs, right? Grunk and Knuller.
Yeah.
You two had followed Gwendolyn, right? That's fine.
Yes.
So at this point, Moira and Kraul, you see these swarms of maggots and insects come crawling out from under these skins. You have an action. You can do a movement if you want to, or yeah, you can do a move and an action. Since you're sort of initially shocked and jolted by this, what would you like?
Moira is too busy stuffing the various crossbows into the bag of holding to notice the hordes of insects at the moment.
Okay, what does Kraul do?
I will move up next to Moira.
Mm-hmm.
And Kraul's bones will begin to crack and snap loud as he begins to shapeshift.
Ooh.
Into a giant crab.
What the fuck?
I'll leave your token just up here, just so we know where it is. So just that's for movement reasons. So you turn a giant crab, and the insects start coming towards. Let's go to initiative order.
Get my giant crab character sheet out.
It is very important, yes.
Oh lord.
Actually, for ease of combat, I'm going to say you three are down here. You sort of, as you're half up the stairs, you hear this and you come running back down to make this less difficult for the line of sights and the sunlight and the. But that is 1 o'clock in the morning, and I believe that is time for the session.
I'm a crab.
And House is indeed a crab.
Crab
shit.
people.
Pinch, pinch.
He likes to pinch.
Snap, 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 snap.
Oh god, of course you gotta start the fucking fight music before we go.
Well, so which one I'm doing for next time.
Crab people.
Thank you very much for attending the first session of Curse of Strahd, where the party finds himself in a strange haunted house.
It's very spooky.
The very industrial, spooky music. You know what? Now that I think of it, this music reminds me of the industrial levels from Donkey Kong Country 3.
What the hell is wrong with you, Blade? Really?
Many, many things.
Amazing.
Any feedback? Well, we'll do the feedback later for next session in private. But again, thank you all for coming up and playing, and thank you, chat, for watching.
Thanks, everybody. That was very fun.
We'll see you next week.
Giant crab escaped from these hordes of insects. Find out next time.
So, shooting a bolt into a bunch of maggots, is that is that even useful?
Yes, you can skewer and devastate a huge chunk of this swarm of insects.
Okay. Goodbye, stream. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.